Hey guys, what's up? Evan from Stock Music Musician. Sorry for the crazy hair today. I was wearing a hat earlier. It's cold out here in DC and my hair is all crazy. Also need a haircut. But anyway, this video is going to tell you how to release an album. This is something I recently tried to do, or did do, last winter, basically, in December or November, maybe October. And in some ways it was way easier than I thought it was going to be. But in many other ways, it was much more difficult. And more important than that, just I didn't properly estimate the time it would take to do everything and my timings. So I've made a very extensive 3,000, 4,000 word article on this, which is going to be much more helpful than this presentation here. And I'll put a link down to it below. But I think the video is helpful because it sort of raises your awareness about some of these issues, which is important. And so let's start. The first thing you have to do is master your album, which actually is more difficult than I thought. I've mastered individual songs plenty of times before, but when you actually have an album, you have to make sure that each song is coming through at the same level and that there aren't jarring differences between each, and then that each song has a smooth transition into the other one, and also that you end up in the right format. So, whether that's a wave at 16, 44/16, or if for some reason you're doing it in 48 or 96 or whatever bit rate you're doing. Well, that's not the bit rate, but 16 or 24 bit rate, anything like that. Whatever the final format needs to be, you need to get that all squared away in the mastering section, and then make sure the tracks actually work together in the context of all of them. Then you need to get album art, and this is, I definitely screwed the pooch here. I tried hiring someone on Fiverr, which he did good work, but it just took too long, and I ended up not being able to make my release window. So what I did was I went to Pond 5, bought some stock images, and then used a free website called Canva to create the album art for that. So if you're not as thrifty, or if you're not feeling creative, then Fiverr is a great route. You just need to give yourself time, probably at least a week. Whereas if you're feeling creative, you can always just get some stock art, some clip art, some images, and put something together. Then you need to get your copyright in order. Basically what you do is you go to copyright.gov, follow the instructions there, and you can send a CD with all of the songs. Again, all of this is really detailed in much more detail in the article, but what I'm just trying to do is let you know all the things you have to do to get your album out there. And it's just sort of overwhelming. So hopefully this will start a conversation in your mind and also encourage you that you can actually put out an album. It's 2018, the future is now. Then you want to make sure that you're registered for something like BMI or ASCAP, so that if your songs are ever played on Spotify or Pandora, or in the real world for that matter, you can get your songwriter's share for that publication. And it was just recently announced that the songwriter's share from streaming plays is going to be going up. So be sure to do that. And I believe BMI is free to register with as an artist. Then to actually release your album and get it physically, on Amazon and iTunes and CD Baby and Spotify and all of that, you need to release your album through a distributor. And the two main choices here are DistroKid and CD Baby. They both got different features, and they'll be right and wrong for different people. But for me, I chose CD Baby because it's a one-time fee, which was appealing to me, and their interface was really easy to work with, and they've got a lot of extra resources to help you figure out how to do things. DistroKid is a much lower fee, but you pay it every year to keep your music on, but it's also unlimited, so if you wanted to release 5 albums, it would just be one fee. But then if you want to keep them there permanently, you have to pay a big fee. So I figure let's just pay it once right now. I've got money in my pocket. Let's get it going. But again, a much more detailed description of them in the article. Then, you've got to start doing publicity and promotion. Some sites you might want to consider visiting include Submit Hub, which is how you can submit your tracks directly to blogs and to like Spotify playlists and stuff like that, so that you can get featured. Also, if there's any music blogs you actually like and follow, reach out to them about your songs. Finally, look at YouTube or Spotify playlists and YouTube playlists, and if you can figure out who wrote those, try and reach out to them and get your songs featured if it's the same genre and your songs would fit. You also might want to consider, in advance, you got to set up your Twitter, your YouTube channel, your Facebook page, maybe an actual website, and an email address to bring it all together. Because if you start building momentum, you're going to want people to be able to follow you, to connect with you, and then able to engage with them, because you don't look at it as just releasing one album. You're trying to start a conversation with people so that your next album builds on your first, and so on and so on. And so that's why you need to have this back-end architecture there, infrastructure, to connect with people and make your content stickier. And then you also might want to make music videos. You can, basically I used free clips from Pixels, and then also the occasional video clip or image from Pond 5. And together, I put together videos using a piece of software. If you've got iMovie, that works. But the main point is there's just so much to do beyond just putting your music on Spotify. And so I would really encourage you, to actually commit to putting together an album, because it really forces you to kind of interact and look at your music differently, and forces you to grow as a musician and a producer, but also to do it right, and learn from my mistakes. So please go visit that long article if you're interested in putting out your first album. It's basically the complete beginner's guide to album releases, and anything you need to know about releasing your first record, it will talk you through. So thanks so much and enjoy.